Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. Back on February 14th, we all began a journey that we call the off-season. And like every other off-season, it sucked. For months, we were starved for anything you would consider news. Remember when all we cared about was darkness retreats and mayonnaise in coffee and CJ Stroud's test numbers? Yeah, it's been a weird year. But no more, because in just a few days, the 2023 NFL season begins. Last year, we saw one team crowned champions and another fall just short. The Chiefs are looking to run it back while the Eagles are out for some redemption. But these are just two of the teams with their dreams on the line. 30 other organizations have their own stories and their own goals for the season. Some are on the brink of glory, and others are just looking for a fresh start. And while some teams hope to rekindle the success of the past, other teams are excited for what their future holds. Some players are looking for a spark to kickstart a great career, and others are looking for one last bit of success before their career comes to an end. Regardless of who you root for, football is back, and it all gets started in just a couple days. So what better time than right now to make some bold predictions heading into the season? My name is Andrew, this is Water Cooler Quarterback, and let's get into it. Now I want to preface this video by saying nobody knows anything heading into a new season. In fact, last year I had the Packers winning the NFC North and the Broncos making the playoffs. Yeah, remember when we all thought the Broncos were going to be good? What a time. I bring this up only to illustrate the fact that every NFL season is full of surprises. So don't get too hung up on anybody's predictions heading into the season because nobody knows what's going to happen. So while I am giving it my best guess here, let's just make some bold predictions and have some fun. If you've been watching my channel over the last couple of months, you already know who I have picked as each division winner. So let's take a look at the NFC. In the West, I have the Niners taking the division title. In the North, the Lions will lead the pack for the first time in 30 years, the Eagles will maintain their dominance in the East, and the Falcons will take the South with a phenomenal run game and revamped defense. Over in the AFC, yes, I'm once again betting on the Chargers to take the leap this year and become the team that I think they can be. The Bengals will control the North for a third straight year with Joey B under center. The Jets are going from worst to first in the East, and the Jaguars handedly take control of the South. Now, we all know that winning the division is just one way to get into the postseason. And with each conference having 3 wildcard spots, there's still plenty of opportunities for other teams. In a wide open NFC, I think there's a lot of teams that could sneak their way into the playoffs. Teams like the Seahawks, the Cowboys, the Saints, Vikings, Commanders, Giants, and Bears all have a legitimate shot. But of this group, only 3 will be moving forward. So my picks for the NFC wildcard spots are the Cowboys, Seahawks, and Bears. The Cowboys are simply too good in all 3 phases of the game to not make the playoffs. The Seahawks should still be good provided Geno can do what he did last year, and I think the Bears are going to take a huge leap this season. I might be 1 year early on that, they might still be a year away, but I've got faith in Chicago. Over in the AFC, there's another great deal of teams that are going to be vying for wildcard spots. The Bills, Dolphins, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and of course the Chiefs are all in contention for those 3 spots. Heck, the Broncos might even be good this year. So the AFC playoff picture is a tough one to predict, but I definitely think that the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs will lock up at least 2 of those spots. And the last spot, I think, comes down to either the Baltimore Ravens or the Miami Dolphins. And I've got to give the slight edge to Miami there. So I do think that the Ravens missed the playoffs just barely to the Dolphins. And with that, the NFC and the AFC playoff pictures are set. Now, before we get into the postseason predictions, let's take a look at who I think is going to be winning each award this year. For Offensive Rookie of the Year, I have got Bijan Robinson. Okay, so that doesn't exactly come out of left field, and maybe a lot of you saw that coming. But Bijan is in a position that few other rookies are. All of the rookie quarterbacks are in difficult situations, and I'm not sure if any of the rookie wide receivers, just based on the offenses that they're going to be in, are going to see the same volume that someone like Bijan Robinson is going to see. Last year, the Falcons were a top 3 rushing offense, and with taking Bijan so early in the draft, it looks like they're committed to doing that again. So I think Bijan is set up for a great year and will be taking home Offensive Rookie of the Year. Over on defense, it's not frequent that we see the Rookie of the Year be a cornerback. In fact, it's happened only 3 times since the year 2000. But with Sauce Gardner winning it last year, could we see back-to-back corners win Defensive Rookie of the Year? I think it's certainly possible. Christian Gonzalez finds himself with the New England Patriots, a team that always has a good defense, and under head coach Bill Belichick, I think will be a dominant defensive threat. And he could have just enough production to win the award. This does mean he's beating out guys like Will Anderson and Jalen Carter, who are going to be racking up sacks, but I think it can be done. There are a ton of guys in contention for Offensive Player of the Year. Guys like Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Christian McCaffrey all deserve to be in this conversation, but I do think there is someone that is just on another level when it comes to the award. In my book, Justin Jefferson is the only choice for Offensive Player of the Year. He averaged over 100 yards a game last season and broke 1,800 receiving yards. If anybody in 2023 is going to hit that elusive 2,000-yard receiving mark for the first time in NFL history, I do think that it's going to be Justin Jefferson. And if he's able to do that, he is a lock for Offensive Player of the Year. For Defensive Player of the Year, there are likewise a lot of good options. Guys like TJ Watt and Nick Bosa certainly deserve some respect. But I'm going to give the award to Micah Parsons, who I think is just head and shoulders above those two. Parsons converting to edge full-time is going to be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. And I mentioned it in my NFC East video that he could be going for that single-season sack record. Whether he breaks the record or not, I think he is well set up for Defensive Player of the Year. That brings us to Comeback Player of the Year. And simply put, I think there is only one option here. We all witnessed that horrifying event that was the Monday Night Football game between the Bengals and the Bills this past January. I recall the entire NFL world holding their breath for any good news, and thank goodness that news came. And the fact that Damar Hamlin is returning to the NFL at all is a miracle in and of itself. The only way Damar Hamlin does not win this award is if he decides to walk away from the game midway through the season. But even then, I think he may still get it. If he doesn't, I think it could go to someone like Breece Hall coming back from an ACL injury, but there's simply no competition here. It's going to go to Damar Hamlin. Coach of the Year is always a tough call because there are so many good coaches doing great things with their teams. But I think this year, it's going to go to the Detroit Lions head coach, Dan Campbell. And I think Campbell winning this award is going to be for more than just his work on the team this year. I think it is going to represent all the work that he has done for the past couple of years. Campbell has redefined what it means to be a Detroit Lion. His work with the team over the last couple of seasons has been superb. And if he's able to lead the Lions to their first division title in decades, I think it'll be a beautiful payoff for everything he has put into this organization. And I think that'll be more than enough to get him Coach of the Year. Now we come to the big one. MVP, the most valuable player in the entire league. And there are so many guys that are going to be vying for this award. Guys like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, heck, even Tua could be in this conversation if he stays healthy. But I think there's one guy that is ready to be truly unleashed this season. See, last year, this quarterback's top 2 receiving options were almost never healthy at the same time. Last year, he dealt with an offensive coordinator that kept his average depth of target to under 7 yards. His starting left tackle played only 3 games, and despite having cracked ribs since week 2, this guy still put up over 4,700 yards and a completion percentage of over 68%. That's 3rd best in the league. This year, though, he's healthy again. His receiving core added a first-round rookie talent. His O-line should be back up to full strength. He's got a new offensive coordinator willing to push the ball downfield, and he's still got an elite pass-catching back in the backfield. Yes, I have been on the Justin Herbert train for some time now. Even before heading into the 2020 draft, there was something about him that made me say, maybe this guy surprises some folks. And though his team has not had the success of a Mahomes or a Hurts, I think this year Justin Herbert establishes himself as one of those guys that belongs in that conversation. I think this is the year that the doubters finally have to stop doubting this guy. And I think this time next year, it won't even be a question as to whether or not he belongs in the upper echelon of QB talent. Now, finally, we come to what it's all about, the Super Bowl pick. And boy, is this tough. Let's go one conference at a time. We've got the NFC playoff picture looking like this. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks, and Chicago Bears all making the playoffs. With this pool, I think the Eagles are a clear tier above everybody else, and should have no trouble making it back to the Super Bowl. Now for the AFC, the playoff teams are as follows. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals, New York Jets, Los Angeles Chargers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, and the Miami Dolphins. Man, this is a tough call. But I'm going to say that the New York Jets make it out of this conference alive. Y'all can think I'm crazy all you want, but in the past couple of years, we have seen not only Tom Brady, but Matthew Stafford join new teams and win a Super Bowl in their first year there. And I don't think that is outside the realm of possibilities for someone like Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes a team truly is just a quarterback away, and with elite, young talent on both offense and defense, I think adding in Aaron Rodgers just puts the Jets over the top. So it all comes down to this. In Las Vegas, Nevada, the New York Jets will take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, one of the new faces of the league, is taking on the old vet in Aaron Rodgers. And this is going to be a crazy game. Each team with an elite offense is going to have to fight tooth and nail for each yard and every single point against the other team's phenomenal defense. But when it's all said and done, who comes out on top? Well, my way too early Super Bowl prediction has the Philadelphia Eagles earning their redemption. After coming so very close last year, I do think the Eagles have the opportunity to get it done in 2023. And that's against a very good Jets team who will be in this game the whole time. As the clocks hit 0 and the scoreboard reads 30-24, green confetti will rain down, and the City of Brotherly Love will have another trophy in the case, having defeated two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in just a 6-year span. Well, folks, there you have it, my official 2023 season-long predictions. It all kicks off this Thursday night with the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions, and I could not be more excited. So until next time, my name is Andrew, this is Water Cooler Quarterback, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.